My name is Andrew Stotts, and I want to welcome you to the next presentation for Valuation Master Class students graduation project. So let's get started. 1 second. Noor, how are you?
Hi, Andrew. I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm very excited to hear your presentation. Are you excited to give your presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Qualcomm. I haven't looked at Qualcomm in a while, so I'm excited about this. I'm going to leave in just a second, and as soon as I leave, I'll tell you, and then you just take it over, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'm going to leave now. Go.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nuruddin, and today we're going to talk about Qualcomm. I initiate a coverage on Qualcomm with a sell recommendation based on a target price of US dollars 132, implying a downside of 18%. I drive my target price from a DCF based valuation using a cost of equity of 10.5% and a terminal growth rate of 3%. So, who is Qualcomm? Founded in 1985 and headquartered in San Diego, is a global leader in semiconductors and wireless technology. It provides Snapdragon chipsets for smartphones and Internet of Things and automotive systems and is a key player in 5G networks. Qualcomm operates globally with branches in China, India, the UK, Germany, and South Korea, serving markets across North America, Europe, and Asia. Qualcomm remains a dominant player in the smartphone sector, but the global smartphone market is showing signs of stagnation. According to IDC, smartphone shipments are projected to grow by only 3% annually from 2024 to 2028. To counteract the slowdown in its traditional markets, Qualcomm is doubling down on high growth sectors like automotive, Internet of Things, and enterprise solutions. According to Allied Market Research, the automotive market is expected to grow at a CAGR of 23% from 2024 to 2030, driven by increased demand for connected car solutions and autonomous driving technologies. Qualcomm's strategic focus on the automotive sectors comes at a time when the industry is undergoing a significant technological shift. Similarly, the Internet of Things segment is expected to grow at a CAGR of 14% over the next 5 years. According to Ericsson's mobility report, global 5G adoption is expected to surpass 5 billion connections by 2027. Qualcomm, as a key supplier of 5G chips and licenses, stands to benefit from this rapid expansion in network connectivity and the increasing demand for 5G enabled devices. Qualcomm continued investments in research and development with annual spending of $6 billion enables it to sustain innovation and capitalize on emerging technologies, ensuring its competitive position in the semiconductor and connectivity industries. Now for the comment on recent quarters. In 2Q24, Qualcomm experienced a slight revenue decrease as they are using aggressive pricing tactics, offering volume discounts to boost Internet of Things chip sales by the end of Q4 24. The company saw a 12% year-on-year increase in gross margin and a higher year-on-year increase in net margin of 18%. Qualcomm reported 3Q24 recurring earnings per share of US dollars 1.9, which was positive 24% year-on-year and negative 6% quarter-on-quarter. Now for the constraints to growth, the capital constraint is minor as the cash conversion cycle is around 35 days, indicating efficient cash management with a strong cash to asset ratio. And the operation constraint is neutral as the reliance on third-party manufacturing like Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company and Samsung introduces risks related to potential disruption and raw material price volatility. The market risk is neutral as the smartphone market is maturing, which may limit growth opportunities in this segment. Qualcomm's expansion into emerging sectors like 5G, automotive, Internet of Things, and AI offers alternative growth avenues, but these markets are highly competitive and require substantial investment. Now, for the people constrained, the company has established comprehensive training programs to foster internal mobility and minimize reliance on external hires, as it's very costly. Now, for the revenue breakdown by segments, the equipment and services segment generated 84% of their total revenue, which is the majority, driven by hardware sales such as Snapdragon processors and modern technologies. The licensing segment contributed 16% of the total, primarily from patents on essential wireless standards like 3G, 4G, and 5G. Now, for the sales by region, China accounted for approximately 63% of Qualcomm's total revenue. Vietnam contributed 13%, Republic of Korea 9%, and United States of 4%. Overall, Qualcomm appears non-attractive relative to 1810 non-financial companies in the USA considering fundamentals, valuation, momentum, and risk. Now for Porter 5 forces, their rivalry among competitors has a score of 60%, as Qualcomm holds about 20% of the global semiconductors market share. And the semiconductor industry is dynamic, with 5 to 8% annual growth driven by 5G, AI, and Internet of Things demand. Their bargaining power versus suppliers score is around 53%, as they rely on advanced semiconductor manufacturing often sourced from suppliers like TSMC and Samsung, as we already mentioned. And building their own semiconductor manufacturing facilities would be extremely capital intensive. Bargaining power versus customers score of 47%. Qualcomm's strong position in mobile processors and 5G technology gives it leverage in price negotiations. Now, threat of new entrants, they have a score of 93%, as entering the semiconductor design and manufacturing industry is difficult due to high R&D and capital requirements. Now, the threat of substitute, they have switching cost high in some sectors which require performance products. Transitioning to new suppliers could incur redesign costs and compatibility issues. And for the lower segments, they might be easy for them. But the like the most of the sales is to the segment which can't change their like they don't have a substitute. Now for the leadership and ownership, they have a different chairman than the CEO, and they have a higher than average number of non-independent directors. Their shareholders are very strong, such as Vanguard, BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, Geode Capital Management, and State Street Corporation. Profitable growth consistently rank in the top 10% among 630 large infotech companies globally for the whole period, mainly driven by strong expense control. Their profitability is in the top decile, their growth is below average, and asset utilization is stable below average, and net margin is world class. Sales growth has worsened in recent years, and net margin has worsened but now going to recover. Now for their ESG, they have an overall ESG score of 93%. Their environmental is 80%, and they have no significant controversies reported. They have a social score of 100% and governance score of 100%. Now for their P&L statement, they have a high revenue growth and higher profits. They hold a lot of cash, as we already mentioned, and they have a high reinvestment rate, which can be seen here by the retained earnings balance, which is significantly increasing. Now for the cash flow statement. Their ratios, they have mainly very high profitability ratios, and they are not very high leveraged. Now this is their free cash flow data. On the forward 2025 PB multiple, Qualcomm looks cheap. I forecast its return on equity to be around 31% in 2025, higher than the sector average in Asia and the world, but still lower than USA. Qualcomm is trading at a significant premium based on the 2025 PE to EPS multiple compared to Asia, the world, and USA. I assume a risk-free rate of 3%, market equity risk premium of 6%, and a beta of 1.3x. Now this is my sensitivity analysis, as when the gross margin changed to only by 2 only to 58%, the target price is around 134.9. Now for the risks, The main risk is growing competition in smartphone processors, as Qualcomm faces increasing competition from rivals like MediaTek, which continues to gain market share in the mid range and low cost segments. Additionally, Apple's in house chip strategy further pressures Qualcomm high end dominance. Dependency in global supply chain stability. They have also limited diversification beyond mobile, as they are trying now to expand into automotive and Internet of Things markets. But for now, most of the revenues come from the smartphone chipsets. And risk from ongoing legal challenges, as Qualcomm continues to face legal and regulatory scrutiny over its licensing practices.
So, can you go up to the ratio page?
Sure.
Okay, there. So, tell me more about what happened with this inventory conversion that went from 74 to 92 to 145 days.
Okay, so now they are shifting to new sectors and trying hard to shift in this sector. So for 2023, I assume that they are going to complete at this rate after shifting into the Internet of Things market and smart and AI, like the segment they are shifting towards now. So I assume the rate to be stable at the 2023 rate.
It's just that it's like it's gone from a negative cash conversion cycle to 21 and then to 86 days. It's quite a huge jump. And maybe it's a plan. I mean, it's not like the profitability is low for the company. Maybe they're, they're taking advantage of that. Let's go to the next page. So here is your revenue growth. I see revenue growth in 2021 was 54.5, then 31.7, then minus 19. Well, why do you forecast so low, 2%, for the next 3 years?
Okay, so the revenue growth is mainly low, as they are now, okay, they are trying to shift to other sectors, but most of the revenues, like more than 50% of the revenue now come from revenue like comes from revenue in the mobile sector. So when they shift, even if they shift, okay, they have growth in other sectors, but in the sector they are mainly more than 50% of the revenue comes from is still very low, and they are facing a lot of troubles in this segment, as I already mentioned in my stories.
Okay. And Moman asked a question, what are the risks associated with getting so much revenue from China?
They have, like, okay, they have risks in China coming from political stuff there, but the China is currently investing a lot, like billions of dollars in this segment and AI and stuff like that. And they are also, like, now they are also the main, maybe like the most strongest country in this segment. So there won't be like much risk in this.
Okay, and go to the front page.
This one.
Yeah, let me just look at this. Hold on. So let's just imagine that the share price comes down, uh, roughly to your target price. Do you feel excited that you should be getting in this stock, or do you feel like, nah, it's not that exciting?
No, no, I'm not into this sector because they have like very high competition, and the sector, like in general, the sector is okay, would be promising, but a lot of companies in there, and there are a lot of competition, and I don't have like a competitive edge there as Qualcomm, so I don't see like entering into this stock.
If Qualcomm management was listening to this, they would probably say, "Come on, look at our return on equity. We're super profitable. We're super strong. Why do you have to be so negative?"
Yeah, they have profitability, but they have no revenue growth, so they would be like okay, we have strong profits, net strong margin, and all this stuff, but the guys have no growth. So why would I invest in you? Like
Okay.
you'll be stayed like this.
So how does it feel to graduate from the Valuation Master Class?
It feels great.
Yeah.
Finally.
Tell me about your journey.
Oh my god, it's like 3 months of joining. Uh, First, when I joined, like 3 months ago, I had the basics of valuation, but then I joined for the first 6 weeks. It have been a great journey. I learned a lot about valuation, but when I joined professional, like I literally noticed that I know nothing about valuation. When I valued more than 11 companies and reviewed a lot of like we did a lot of peer reviews on our Facebook group, and I've seen a lot of industries, more than in total. I've seen like maybe reviewed 100 posts for the
Mhm.
valuation for my peers. So like it has been a great journey, and for now I join. Okay, let's go to see to the financials. I know where to look. I know if there is a problem with my valuation, like the value is very high or very low. I know where to look. Like great experience, especially the reviewing part. It has been a very great transformation for me in this part.
And when you graduated from boot camp, you felt pretty excited about what you learned and all that. But now that you graduated from professional, what's the difference between what you knew then and what you know now?
Like first, okay, I know to I know how to value a company, but I only valued one company. I did a lot of research. Okay, no, I know how to present. I know how to make a good report. But when I like dive deep in the details, value a lot of companies, go and get reviews, and you have not like put any number. You don't have to put a single number without story behind it. Every number you have to put with the stories. You get reviews by your peers first, then by Moment, then by Pete, then by Dr. Andrew. So you can't just put any number. You just have to dive deep into the details. And also the most promising part for me was like a lot of sectors. Okay, we have real estate, General Motors, in the General Motors, energy, tech. I don't think there is any sector that I haven't faced or like seen companies from and valued. So that's
And
it, yeah, for me.
and how would you describe the difference in the value that you can bring to your employer, right? Like what benefit does all this bring to, your boss, to your future, that type of thing?
If I'm in, like in investment banking or like facing investors in general, I know now like what do they look at. Like okay, now I'm going to into a meeting with someone saying, guys, we need to buy this company. So everyone, I know like basically most of the people, what are they going to look at. As I like when I did my valuations, I have reviews by four different people, which all of them are all experts. So now when I'm in a meeting room with some investors, I know this guy. Okay, what do you wanna fight? Come,
Mm.
I know my numbers very well. I can defend any number you have. And also for my presentation skills, it has been great, as now I know how to present. I know what to focus on. I know that people want okay, you can read. Okay, I don't care if you can read. I can read also. I want you to present like the summary of the story. What main reasons am I going to buy this company for? And also you have to value, like I have to value everyone's time, as when I'm joining with people like investors and all this stuff, their time is very valuable to them, so they won't care except for the first, let's say, 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, just get to the point. Tell
Yeah,
us the
exactly.
story about what your dad saw in your, changes in your behavior or the way you looked at things. Tell us that story.
Yeah, okay. So my dad, first when I joined the Valuation Master Class, he said, okay, it's a course. Okay, I always do courses, and I've been always hard worker, and it's not something new to him. So when I joined this Valuation Master Class, first I did my first presentation and showed them. Okay, they said, okay, that sounds nice. Then the
Mhm.
second presentation, like in the mock presentations we did with you,
Yep.
then in the final presentation, they have seen my transformation. They have like, especially my dad, he's always a supporter of me and always follow up with me in all my tasks and the things I do. So he's like, okay, you have been like you have seen great transformation. Now for the next part, he's when he's seen me put in a lot of hours, like for the professional part especially, I put around 200 hours. I literally, not joking when I'm saying, I valued with my peers around 100 companies. So when he see me like put in all these efforts, he says, okay, now you have transformation. Now before my I start, he was standing with me. He's like behind the camera and supporting me through the whole journey. So like it's been a great journey for me, for him. He's always happy to see me change and see like transformation and improve myself, and he's always a supporter for me in that. So thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, no, it's a great story, and it's fantastic. And what would you say to a person who's considering joining Valuation Masterclass? As you and other students note, we don't really explain how intense it is on the website, and so people don't really know exactly what it is and the transformation. What would you say to someone that's just looking at the website thinking, oh, maybe I'll take this, probably just like any other course, sit down, watch videos type thing?
I'd say don't just join for the sake of finishing your assignments and tasks. Like for my first 3 weeks, I joined. Okay, I've been following up with my assignments and all this stuff, but I am doing like the bare minimum. Never do that. Never do that in anything in your life. Always when you join something, give it all your energy. Don't just say, okay, I'll give him, they need like 3 hours, okay, I'll give him 3 hours roughly. No, just put in the effort. Since you're like already joined, bro, like do it. Put in
Mm,
the hours. Don't just be ashamed. Never be like ashamed to say, okay guys, I need to present, I need to. No, just jump. Don't care.
mm,
Nothing gonna happen. That Like this is the main thing that made this journey transformative for me. As when I joined, I always go, okay guys, I'm a present. Am I ready to this? Am I qualified for? Definitely no. But I'll join. I don't care. I'll jump into whatever the thing and I'll survive somehow. I don't care how, but I'll survive. So this is my main advice for anyone joining the Valuation Masterclass and anything in your life. Just put in the effort, put in the hours, never give up, and always be consistent. As life is a marathon, it's not like okay, I'm excited now. I'm a join. I'm a put in 3 hours, 10 hours for the next week, and then okay, guys, where are you at? What? Why aren't you doing your assignments? Guy, I'm depleted. Who cares? Just put in the effort. That's it.
yeah, fantastic. Well, I want to congratulate you. I know you put in a huge amount of work and you've been contributing to the community a lot. So I appreciate that. And so well done. And tell your dad I said hi. And
Okay, I will.
meanwhile, I'm going to take you out of this and then I'll see you in Slack.
All right.
All right. Well done. Wow. Amazing. Uh, his transformation has been impressive. And I think the advice that he gave at the end is whenever you're doing anything in your life, devote yourself to it, throw yourself into it, and if you don't feel like throwing yourself into it, maybe it's not the right thing. Get out of it. I want to work in areas where I can throw myself into it. I love teaching. I love helping young people achieve their goals and push themselves. So that's what we do in the Valuation Masterclass. So if you want to build a competitive advantage in company valuation,